On September 5, 2025, SEC Chairman Paul Atkins responded declaring, "We welcome honest firms, but we won't let border, hoping bad actors exploit American investors ever again." The SEC just formed a dedicated cross-border task force, a financial special forces unit for fraud detection and investor protection. The new task force will relentlessly investigate violations tied to foreign-based companies, and it was mentioned especially for those in places like China. These firms sometimes hide fraud behind international borders or weak oversight. The top focus: the pump and dump and ramp and dump schemes. Foreign scammers pump up value with hype, just like those fake tickets resellers, then dump their holdings, leaving American investors holding the bag. Gatekeepers are under the microscope. Auditors and underwriters play key roles, letting these companies access U.S. markets. The SEC wants these professionals to act like airport security, stopping threats before they cause harm. Special attention is on high-risk regions for fraud, like China, where government controls or opaque business practices have led to headlines making scandals. But before we continue, I would like to pause and decode this jargon. Pump and dump. Imagine a group of social media hyping a new crypto token, promising it's the next big thing. Everyone rushes to buy, prices skyrocket, and just when the excitement peaks, the group dumps their shares and disappears. Prices crash, real investors lose big. That's a pump and dump scheme, like hyping up a terrible concert ticket online until the crowd is fooled. Let's see, ramp and dump. Similar, but even sneaker. Scammers gradually ramp up the price, like building anticipation for a concert that doesn't exist, before the big drop, leaving victims with an empty seat and empty wallets. A very brief, real example of a ramp and dump scheme occurred in early 2025. Cybercriminals used compromised brokerage accounts to secretly buy large volume of a foreign stock, gradually ramping up its price over weeks. Once the price was high enough, they dumped the shares for profit, and U.S. investors were left with losses. The FBI issued a warning in February 2025 after a spike in complaints about this tactic. But let's see, who are these gatekeepers? Think of auditors and underwriters as financial bodyguards. They are supposed to protect investors by double-checking the paperwork and making sure companies are legit. If they let bad actors through, they become part of the problem. Let's see a real-life case. In 2024, audit firm BF Borgers was permanently banned by the SEC for failing to properly audit over 1,500 SEC filings, including reviews for crypto companies. Their negligence allowed fraudulent information to go unchecked, putting thousands of investors at risk. Now, what is crypto turf wars? Recently, there's been a fight over who polices crypto markets in the US. The SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, or the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC. Atkins and his team say turf wars are over. They are joining forces to take down crypto scams together. A very brief real-life example of crypto turf wars was until September 2025, the SEC and the CFTC often competed over who could regulate crypto spot trading, creating different rules and confusion for exchanges and investors. But on September 2025, the agencies issued a joint statement ending these turf wars and announced they will coordinate oversight to make trading spot crypto assets on registered exchanges easier and safer for everyone. The SEC new cross-border task force will target pump and dump and ramp and dump schemes by combining aggressive investigation, advanced digital tracking, and tighter scrutiny for gatekeepers like auditors and underwriters. The task force will deploy specialized teams to investigate market manipulation linked to foreign-based companies, focusing on crypto assets and thinly traded securities. Advanced digital footprint tracking will be used to follow social media hype, misleading rumors, and coordinated trading patterns typical in pump-and-dump schemes. Auditors, underwriters, and other intermediaries who help foreign firms list or raise money in the US will be closely examined. The SEC aims to hold these gatekeepers accountable for facilitating access to American markets. If gatekeepers fail regulatory checks or help mask fraudulent actions, they risk penalties and tougher oversight. The task force will work with global regulators to close enforcement gaps, particularly with countries like China, where limited transparency has increased fraud risk. Efforts will include recommending new disclosure requirements and reforms that make it harder for bad actors to exploit regulatory loopholes. The SEC will continue warning U.S. investors and traders on how to spot telltale signs of pump and dump and ramp and dump schemes, such as sudden social media hype, thinly traded assets, and unverified operator backgrounds. In summary, the task force will use cross-border investigation, advanced tracking tools, strict scrutiny on market gatekeepers, policy updates, and investor education to aggressively target these fraudulent schemes. Why should people in America care? Very simple. Fraud crosses borders fast, especially in the digital age. With new schemes appearing online every day, strong U.S. rules mean better protection for regular families and retirement funds. Foreign companies listing their stock in the U.S. sometimes will fake audits or manipulated trading, risk costing American investors billions. The task force mission is security upgrade for Wall Street and Main Street alike. Here is a twist. Remember, this isn't just about the U.S. Honest companies and investors in Latin America and Europe, like Spain, should celebrate this as well. Serious Latin American and Spanish firms gain safer, more credible access to U.S. capital markets. That means more investment, more jobs, and more transparency. Stronger protection keep out fraudulent copycat tokens or companies. Imagine, this is good for all of us. It's like online shopping with better fraud protection, so everyone wins. The SEC crackdown boosts the credibility of good actors from these regions, making it easier and more accessible to raise money internationally. It's like international soccer. If referees crack down on foul play, real talent gets to shine and fans trust the game again. So what's the big takeaway? The SEC Cross-Border Task Force is not just headline news. It's a game changer for anyone interested in crypto, stocks, or honest markets across the globe. Before investing in any foreign company or new crypto asset, double-check who's behind it. Look for solid audits, honest gatekeepers, and transparent disclosures. If it's hyped online but you can't find real information, be skeptical. Protect your wallet. Let's make finance better for everyone. If this video helped you understand what's changing in crypto and why it matters to the world, share it and subscribe. Crypto Practica is a positive channel that shares news and information about finance and cryptocurrencies. Always focus on empowering you with knowledge for your growth and financial education. If this is a topic that interests, inspires, and excites you, the best way to support us is by subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. I look forward to seeing your comments. Until next time.